welcome back to Mr. Math. This morning we'll quickly have a look at how to calculate the volume of different types of three-dimensional prisms. So let's jump into the first one. Please note that we will also have to do conversions on some of the shapes. So as we jump in, we will start with a cube, and this is what we have to do. So first of all, the formula for a cube would be volume equals length times length times length. And the reason why we use length and not breadth or height is because all the sides of the cube is exactly the same. If you wanted to use the alternative volume equals length times breadth times height, you are also allowed to do that. Okay, so with this, the cube, as you can see at the bottom right of the screen, has the following measurements. So the one side is 0.06 meters. Then we've got one side that is 6 centimeters, and the final one would be 60 millimeters. Now you need to know that all the sides have to be exactly the same lengths or sizes. So what you'll have to do is convert the applicable measurements to form part of the suitable unit of measurement that you want. So I'm going to make everything centimeters. So we're going to take the meters and multiply it by 100. The comma will move 2 spaces to the right, and then you'll get that it's equal to 6 centimeters. Okay. With millimeters, we divide by 10. So we go from right to left, and that would also become 6 centimeters. Now, with having that, we are able to go and calculate the volume of this cube. So then we go and we say volume is equal to length times length times length. Then we substitute. So the one side is 6, the other side is also 6, and the last one is also 6. And you calculate all of this, 6 times 6 gives me 36, and then 36 times 6 again gives me 216, and this would be centimeters. And because you're calculating volume, you would have to use the unit of measurement of cube. Okay, moving on to the next one, we will be looking at a rectangular prism. So the standard formula for a rectangular prism would be volume is equal to length times breadth times height. Then this rectangular prism, as you can see at the bottom, would have the following measurements. So it's 2000 meters. It also has 1 kilometer for its height, and then for its length it's got 600,000 centimeters. Okay, we want to calculate everything back to kilometers because that would be the easiest, and it would not be as big numbers to use, okay, when calculating. So to do that, for meters, we're going to divide by 1000, which means your comma moves 3 spaces to the left, which gives you 2 kilometers. 1 kilometer we'll leave as is, and then with regards to centimeters, we're going to have to divide by 100 and then by 1000 again. So you can, at the same stage, just divide by 100,000. So the comma will jump 5 times because there are 5 zeros that you are using. And that will then give you 6 kilometers in this regard. Okay. Now calculating the volume is easy again. So we'll say volume is equal to length times breadth times the height. Then the length of this rectangle is 6. The width would be 2. And then the height is 1. So 6 times 2 is 12. Times 1 gives me 12 kilometers cubed. And there you've calculated the volume of the shape. Okay, moving on to our triangular prism. So to calculate the volume for the triangular prism, you are going to have to calculate the following. So you're going to have to say the area of the triangles multiplied by the length of the actual prism. Okay, so This one is a bit different, so we're going to say volume for the triangle would be half the base times the height, and then we will multiply that with the length of the actual shape. Okay, so the triangle that you'll see at the bottom as shown does not need any conversions. If the conversions were needed, then you just have to apply it. Okay, so to calculate the volume of this triangle, we are going to apply the following. So the area of the triangle, so half the base of the triangle times the height. So this is going to be the way it's going to look. So it's going to be half. The base would then be 6 meters multiplied by the height, which is 8 meters in this case. And the length of the prism is the length from top to bottom. Okay, so multiplied by the length of that, and that would be 10 meters. Not the hypotenuse, the length from top to bottom. Okay, so when we go and calculate this, you'll see that if you say 6 meters times 8 meters, that will give you 48. So you still have a half there. So 48 times the 10 that you've got there. Now, 48 times a half will give you 24. So 24 times 10 would then give you 240. And we were working with meters, and that would be meters cubed. And that is the total volume of that triangular prism in this case. Okay, moving on to the final type of prism that you might have in your paper and that you might have had to work with is the cylinder. Now, to calculate the volume of a cylinder, you need to understand that this is the standard formula. So its volume is equal to pi times radius squared times the height. That is the standard formula for the volume of a cylinder. Now, as you can see at the bottom right here, the cylinder that's given to you has a diameter as well as a height. It has a diameter as well as a height. So what you'll see then is that the only way that you can distinguish between the diameter and the height is the fact that the diameter is always written in the middle of the circle, and the height obviously along from top to bottom, but I'm talking about diameter and radius. So diameter is always in the middle of that circle, radius is always written on the side of the circle. Okay, so in this question you'll also see that we've got 1000 millimeters for the height, and then we've got 60 centimeters for the diameter of the circle, okay, because it's written in the middle of the cylinder. So first thing that we need to do is go and convert this to centimeters, which we would then divide by 10, which means that comma will move one up, which gives me 100 centimeters in this case. Okay. The other thing that you need to also remember is that we now need to take the diameter and we need to divide that by 2. Okay, because remember, to calculate the radius, you need to say diameter divided by 2. And that would give me 30 centimeters for the radius. Okay, now to calculate all of this, we're then going to say volume is equal to pi. You use pi as is, radius, which is 30 centimeters squared, multiplied by the height, which is now 100 centimeters. Okay. If you take that entire calculation as given to you there, and remember you need a scientific calculator, and you put that into your calculator, you will get an answer as follows. So they will give you 90,000 pi. And your question will always ask you to go and round it off to 2 decimal places. So at the end of the day, your volume for this cylinder would then be 282,743,34, and that would be centimeters cubed. And there you've calculated the volume of that shape. Well guys, that's just a quick sneak peek into volume for you, and I hope that the quick sneak peek assists you with all of this, and that your studying is going well and that everything is on par. We will start our paper discussion soon. As soon as I get a moment or an opportunity to do so, I will start with the paper discussions for both grade 8 and 9 students. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Remember to recruit people to our channel, and have fun with your exams, and make sure that you study hard. Until next time, have a good day.